everybody, thank you for joining me, Krista, with Imagine That Scrapbooks and Gifts for ITTV Presents Try It Out Thursdays, week number 54. This week we are going to be playing with some Inka Gold, making this great spring card here. But before we get started on that, I do need to pick a winner from last week's ITTV. And the winner from week number 53 is Miss Shelley Griffin Law. If you'll please email us at imaginethatscrapbooks@yahoo.com to claim your prize, we'll make sure we get it out to you. And if you'd like to be a winner on ITTV Presents, make sure you leave a comment this week on this week's video, whether on Facebook or on YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe. Alright, let's go get started. Okay, for today we're going to be using Inka Gold. It's a really fun kind of almost waxy material that has a color to it with a little bit of a shine. So what we're going to do is we're going to be adding Inka Gold onto a chipboard die cut that I have here. Now Inka Gold is kind of a smooth and creamy texture. However, I've had this one for a little while and I'm horrible about putting lids on. So this one actually is dried up a little bit, but that's okay. If that happens to you, you can add water to it. However, please do not use tap water. You do want to use a distilled or bottled water. But the other way you can keep from them drying out as well is by putting a little bit of a wipey or moist paper towel in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our Inka Gold, we're going to just kind of rub it onto our chipboard piece. I'm definitely one that doesn't like to throw away good products, so a little bit of dryness never hurt it. So we're just going to add this to our project. So how I'll store it tonight to help get a little bit more moisture in it will be with a wet paper towel. Again, you don't want to use tap water. Reason being, there are different minerals and bacteria in a tap water that could cause like a mold growth into your cosmetic. So anytime you need to re-moisten a cosmetic, you never want to use tap water. Okay, so as you can see here, I'm just using my fingers to add the Inka Gold. You can also use a paper towel or a sponge. I do find that my fingers are a little bit easier, but this is how you do it with a paper towel. And you just kind of wipe it in circles. After I have put on my Inka Gold, that's where I will take a paper towel to kind of buff it. You can see here where it's really giving it that just really pretty kind of shimmer and shine. Got that little corner there. You can also use a little sponge, but we all have paper towels handy. All right, that's a really fast, easy way to give a really pretty texture and color to a chipboard piece. So now I'm going to move this out of the way and we're going to build our card. Okay, so I'm going to be doing a little bit of a paper piecing here. I always use the die cut in its entirety to build my base on, but since this is chipboard, I went ahead and just took a little piece of that off. When gluing chipboard, you do want to use a wet adhesive like Beacon's 3-in-1 or Zip Dry. There are lots of different brands out there on the market. There's also Yoo-Hoo, Scotch, all sorts of different ones. I just really like Beacon's 3-in-1. So it's the one I'm going to be using. Okay. The reason why you want to use a wet adhesive with chipboard, is so it actually will bind to the paper. If you use a dry adhesive, it is only binding to that top layer, and then it could peel the chipboard piece apart. Okay. So there is now our chipboard piece, and now we're going to build our card. I'm going to use my 2-in-1 punch by We Are Memory Keepers. There is another YouTube video on this, so definitely check out the ITTV. But we're going to be using it just as the single-sided. To see how both sides work, definitely check that out. We will have the link posted on this video. Okay, so we are going to punch out our design. I do find it easier to punch standing up, so excuse me, I did have to readjust. All right, that just gave us a pretty little edge onto our card. Our card base is a glitter card, so I'm actually going to use both a wet glue and a dry glue. I use the dry just to kind of temporarily hold it while I put it down, and then the wet's going to make sure it attaches to that glitter. It's just a pretty kind of doily edge. I love spring. I love tulips. Tulips are my favorite flower. So I thought this would be a pretty spring card. I love Beacon Saran One. It's one of my favorite wet adhesives. Got a little Inka gold there. I guess I probably should have washed my hands off. It's okay, nothing a little paper towel can't pick up. All right, so now we're gonna add some little bling to it. Let's see. Let's do the purple one. Or no, let's do the pink one. And now let's add the purple. All right, a fun spring card using Inka Gold on Chipboard. The coupon code for this week is Inka Gold, so make sure you come in store and see all the great colors that we have. All right, we'll see you next week.